Okay, this is a bit of an update on the on how kind of cool qwen image edit is when it comes to tweaking synthetic data sets, right? So kind of recap of yesterday, we have generated a bunch of synthetic data of our character, which is this knight character, right? And it's cool. We have a bunch of like good stuff that's like maybe 80% there. But let's say in all of these images, the mask, the helmet is a little inconsistent, right? So maybe some have grates, some have holes, etc., etc. So what we did yesterday was we kind of using QuinnEdit and Nano Banano created this multi-view and like a more ground truth reference. And we kind of that's where we left off. Today, um, I was thinking this kind of helmet design is kind of hard mode for a lot of AI stuff. So I was thinking just as a test, if we can get like consistency of a certain prop using in painting and control nets and this qwen edit model, can we get something starting to be consistent and automated and good? So first, what I did was using the above two image editing models, um, took our original reference because also another issue we had yesterday was the original reference kind of got out of um, it kind of strayed from our desired style, right? Which is kind of something like this, which I'll get to later. But the thing was maybe it doesn't matter either because we have our style lore anyway. But this is just a test, R&D test and shit. But we have this, so using Nano Banano and QuenEdit, did a few iterations and just settled on something like a simpler design. Two isolates, this crossguard thing, and the milk rates, ventilation holes. And then I ran that through our existing uh, style LoRa, the WAN image to whatever workflow, to get a restylized version. And once I found one that I liked, put that through Nano Banano and QuenEdit again to get a multi-view. And this workflow is pretty powerful because maybe for like API costs of 30 cents to $1, we can get a multi-view. And it's really easily tweakable where, for example, this one, I generated it and I noticed that it's too much, it's too rusty. It doesn't have that Golden Knight vibe. So um, we made it a golden version and then created a multi-view of that. And now we have our reference, right? So that's basically where we got to today. And another additional thing that I did was cleaned up the workflow a bit. And I also swapped from the Kajai just purely segment anything workflow to using the grounded Dino segment anything. And this allows this workflow to be a lot more automatable. I'll show you some results right now. So these are the results. Um, and remember that this is kind of our goal, right? And for this example. So see, it tracks it pretty well. It keeps the details of the models pretty well. Yeah, I don't know. It's looking pretty good. And I'll run, and then of course, with some certain angles like this completely profile, it's not gonna work all the time, but um, I'll show you what I did earlier, and I think you can see that it is kind of you can just run it a bunch maybe, and hopefully, because the name of the game when it comes to this like AI shit still is still being able to run a bunch of gens and hopefully you get something good. But I think more and more we're just trying to get to a point where um, we can now iterate on specific parts of our model, right? But yeah, that's kind of the vibe. And then for the workflow, this version, we first load in our refs. I noticed that honestly, the this like multi-view layout ref does the best out of as a composed compared to this one. But I'll still I'm gonna keep messing around with it. And then first qwen, because qwen VL and qwen image edit is really good at prompt adherence, right? And qwen uses the qwen image edit uses this anyway in the backend. So sometimes I use this, sometimes I want to use Gemini to generate a description of our hero, the thing we want to whatever. And then this is the thing, this is the inference. I'm using the lightning LoRa. And then the thing we do here is that using the last node image batch thing, you can kind of loop through your entire folder of synthetic data to make sure you get the thing you want. And then using like a stacked, like a looped in-plane crop thing, we can first get the initial, yeah, I'm using the dyno thing too. Get this initial mask to crop in, and then get like a more clean mask on that. And then we take this, and then we generate some control maps out of it. The depth and the canny. And then you apply control nets and paint, and then, and then, just classic WAN shit. Not WAN, sorry, classic comfy in paint shit. But just slowly and slowly, we're able to do something more controllable now, So it's kind of less slotty. So I'm gonna run just for an example. So yeah, it grabs the night head, night mask again. I guess it's still waiting. Yep, see, and then this one just kind of dilates the mask to get like a slightly wider area, generate the control maps, and then this loads this will load the result, and then the reference. I'll pause while it waits. But also, qwen image edit with the 8-step LoRa, it's actually really fast. Like 15 seconds per iteration with all that control conditioning added in. Like, I don't know. It's not instant, It's not like nano banana, but still pretty good. All right. And sometimes it's done, but sometimes it's not perfect. Like this one is, but I don't know. Good enough for now, maybe, especially when we account for the fact that it's kind of all the way zoomed in. Cool though, huh?